This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Jeremy Wolf.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Good Neighbor Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Wolf, and today I'd like to introduce our guest, Vanessa Valentin. And Vanessa joins us from Rising Starz, right down the road in Davie. Vanessa, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, Jeremy.
Oh, the pleasure is all ours, as I like to say. And thanks, of course, to our listeners for tuning in to learn more about our great community and the businesses that serve us. So, Vanessa, tell everyone a little bit about what you guys do at Rising Starz. I have a feeling this is going to be fun.
Sure, every day is fun here.
Yeah.
It's all about the creativity. So Rising Starz is a music and performance training academy, and we're dedicated to bringing out the confidence through the arts and bringing out the star in you. We're known for exceptional education and transformative experiences because we not only focus on skill building, but also personal growth. And we like to call it the STARS method.
The STARS method. So are you guys catering to mostly youth or all ages? What's your primary demographic in terms of your student base?
Definitely the youth age is where we have the majority of our clientele, but we do all the way from 4 years old to adults.
4 years old to adults. And love it. So music and performance.
Correct.
So are you teaching all different types of instruments, singing, dancing? Like, to walk us through, like, if I come in, what types of specific services are you guys offering? What am I to expect when I walk through your doors?
Yes, thank you for asking. We offer a wide range of disciplines. So we do piano, violin, guitar, ukulele, voice, acting, dancing, musical theater, songwriting, and artist development.
Very cool. Do you know Angelica Zadak?
Yes, she does acting.
This is improv, her and her sister. Yeah, no, I ask because with the whole this is improv and the performance and all that stuff they do, I'd imagine that you guys have crossed paths before.
Definitely connected, and she's actually helped us out quite a few times, done some master classes here with us.
Very cool. So how long have you had Rising Starz there in Davie? And maybe talk a little bit about your background and how you got into this space. I'd imagine it probably has deep roots from going back to childhood, I would think, but you tell me.
Yeah. So, we've been around for almost 17 years now. We're about to complete our 17th year. And I like to consider myself that little spot that, maybe not everybody knows about, but it has the best food. That's kind of like us. Like, we're that little spot, but with the best artistic program. I don't do a lot of advertising. It's mostly word of mouth, but we've been around for a long time. And I think we've really created an amazing culture here at our studio because we really strive to make an environment that's nurturing where every single student feels special and empowered. And, I've learned firsthand what confidence can enable. And that's what we're, focusing on in our students here, because you can be studying anything, but it's the confidence that you have in that and knowing yourself that allows you to open up other levels that help you to exceed and excel. And so I actually, from a young age, music definitely was my calling. And I went to the University of Miami and I pursued a degree in music therapy. I focused on musical theater and vocal performance. And it was great because it allowed me to combine my love for music while still encompassing my passion for working with kids. But just before I graduated, I was offered a record deal with a major record label, and it took my whole life for another turn. It grew me in ways I could have never imagined. And the challenges were immense. I mean, it was kind of just like taking a fish out of water and saying, figure it out, sink or swim, right? And I grew so much in that. And it allowed me to grow as an artist in ways that not even all of the best schools and education could have given me. Mm-hmm. The only problem was that it was we were doing very, very well. And it got to a point where things got very serious. And I was presented with a big contract. And it was not for me. I just felt like it didn't resonate with my true calling. And so I actually stepped away from the spotlight, and everyone thought I was crazy. I didn't get a lot of support in my decision, but it was something that was deep down in my heart that told me this was not my calling. This was not my path. And then, sure enough, right after I rejected the secondary contract, which was to elevate, our status with the label, I started getting requests from industry colleagues to coach their children. And I said, well, I didn't go to school to necessarily teach. I studied music, but I didn't study it to teach. They said, we don't care. We just want you to teach our kids. I was like, all right. And that's when I fell in love. I mean, I fell in love with working with the kids, using the music, and realizing the power that it had to do so many things that were even non-related to music. And that's when I realized this is what I was meant to do. And shortly after, I had an opportunity to start my own business. And my husband said to me, what do you want to call your business? And I was like, I feel like there's not enough people telling us what's great about us. And there's not enough empowerment on a regular basis. So I told my husband, I want students that come to me to realize their greatness. I want them to feel like a star, because within each and every one of us, there is a star, and it's just dying to burst.
Mm-hmm.
And all we need is the right tools and the right guidance to help us elevate that and allow that to come through. And so we came up with the name Rising Stars, and that's what we do. We rise our little stars, and we help them find their inner voices, their confidence, and the passion to seek out all of their dreams.
So much of what you just said resonates with me personally at where I'm at with my journey. I play the guitar myself, and I've always, I say this a lot lately, and I've never really been able to sing very well. And it's always held me back from releasing that inner potential that I have, this fear of what other people are going to think about it. It's not good. All this nonsense, right, that we construct in our heads. And I've kind of let that guard down to some degree. And as I've done that, I've started to see improvement, because like with anything else, it takes practice, it takes time and dedication. And I'm starting to see some major improvements in my ability to actually sing and play the guitar together. And it's opened up a whole world of this potential that I didn't know was within me. So like you said, everybody has within them a star. Yeah, I like to say everybody has within them potential for greatness. And it's unfortunate that so many people live their entire lives without finding a way to tap into that for whatever reason, right? Again, fear of failure, fear of what expectations, all that nonsense that's out there. So again, Absolutely. What you said is just resonates with me so much. But I wanted to go back to what you said, because this is interesting. You actually had an opportunity in the music business, right, to make it. And most people, when they get that opportunity, they jump in full force, but you actually put the brakes on, and you were aware enough to say, this is not for me. It wasn't your true passion, which you ultimately ended up with helping children. What was it at that time? I know, probably going back a little while now, what was it that felt that wasn't right for you to go down that path?
There's a lot of sacrifice. Yes. Sorry to interrupt. There's so much sacrifice. You have to want that more than anything else, because what you will be sacrificing is almost everything. It involved being away from family and loved ones for long periods of time. We would rehearse so many hours a day, 6 to 8 hours a day. I remember when we did a small tour just to test out our first album. We were just opening for major acts, but we were just a new.
What kind of music? What kind of music was this?
It was a Latin pop group we did.
Latin pop group?
Yeah, Grupo Ellas. And we started opening for some big acts. We started doing some touring, and it was an amazing experience. The only thing was that, we were like up at 4:00 in the morning to be ready to be at the radio stations by 6:00 in the morning. And then you do all the radio stations, and then you have a moment to eat. And then after you finish eating, you go to the rehearsal, and then you go to the place where you're going to get the clothes, and then you get ready, and then you get another break to eat something real quick. And then that's it. You get ready to start all over again, go to the club and wait for hours to perform. And then just a couple of hours sleep. it was not for me. I thought to myself, this is so much fun. And it definitely, like I said before, it grew me in ways I could have never, ever imagined because it pushes you out of your comfort. And I believe you really cannot grow to your greatest potential unless you're out of your comfort zone. However, I knew it wasn't where I felt I was meant to be. It was like I knew deep down inside that this was just a transitional period. This was what I needed to grow and to find my true greatness, but it wasn't where I was supposed to stay. And that calling was really loud and clear for me. And the moment I started working with children and teaching music, I knew I was right. I knew this was the right path.
Very cool. Do you ever perform now? Do you still perform with a band or anything like that, or no?
So for a long time, running the business was a whole entity in itself. I mean, that consumed all of my time and all of my effort. And for a long time, for many, many years, I started putting my passion into the students. But recently, I would say in the past 3 years, I started to perform again. And I've been dreaming big again and taking my students. I'm telling my students, okay, it's time for Miss Vanessa to start taking the same advice she gives all of you, right? So there's no reason why, even at 50 years old, I shouldn't be able to continue to dream. So I started thinking of what would be an amazing opportunity for us to do and places to perform. So I wind up getting our students to perform in Times Square. We performed right in the heart. We did the Lion King stage on Broadway.
Very cool.
And we also did 54 Below. And so then I thought to myself, well, hey, the students aren't the only ones here with talent. Might as well put these old chops to use. And I prepared myself and did some presentations, and it ignited a whole nother world of excitement in me again. It revived a lot of sparks inside of me. And so again, this the arts is something that really brings out the most amazing parts of us. And I think that it was a blessing to be able to have these opportunities. And every time I also step on the stage, it also grows me the same way it grows the students. And so we just continue to grow together.
Yeah, we don't focus enough in society with children on the arts in school and just getting in front of people and expressing yourself. People have such a problem with that, right? They say, I mentioned this the other day on a podcast. They said that people are more afraid of public speaking than death or something. That's the saying.
Yeah, that's true.
or performing or just getting up and again, letting the guard down and expressing yourself. That's like kind of my goal, a lofty goal, right? Is to show up the same way to everybody I encounter, whether it's my immediate family or even just a stranger I meet on the street, just to have like no walls up and just be my true authentic version of myself, which is so incredibly difficult for people because again, we live in society. But I think if you show up that way, what will happen is the people that don't resonate with you, well, they won't be in your life, which is great, right? And the people that do resonate with you, you'll start surrounding yourself with people that you identify well with and all that. And it just makes for a more positive energy around you,
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's part of the reason why, in our programming, we do so much development with mindset and self-love, because we have to get to know ourselves and we have to start to love ourselves. If we don't, we're not going to really embrace who we are and share it with the world in a comfortable way. And so when we're able to do that and really feel like, hey, I can own this. This is who I am, the quirkiness and the greatness, right? It all goes together hand in hand. And then that just makes you feel so good about yourself. And it doesn't hold you back anymore from sharing who you really are authentically, just as you express. And I think that's the key.
100%. Absolutely. So you mentioned earlier, you're talking about family, how that lifestyle, which I appreciate the perspective, by the way, because I think people have this vision of what it's like to be a famous performer, right? Or famous artist. And it's all glory and all, peaches and cream. But in reality, like you said, there's a lot more that goes into it. And it could be a very, very stressful lifestyle. So family was obviously important to you, as it is with most people. Usually a driving force behind what we do in life. Tell us a little bit about your family, Vanessa.
Yes, I have 2 children. I have a daughter that's 16 and my son just turned 15. And my daughter's into the arts. She's actually interning with me. She's doing an amazing job. And my son wants nothing to do with the arts. He's into engineering and
to each his own.
Yes, exactly. But I love my family. I have a big family. I'm come from a Hispanic background, and spending time with the family is everything to me. And I had an unfortunate occurrence in my life that really put things in perspective for me. About 3 years ago, my husband and my daughter experienced a very horrific car accident, and they almost lost their lives. My life, all of our lives, were instantly changed, and thankfully, through the help of amazingly supportive friends and family and my faith, I was able to overcome. And that was another opportunity for me to find my inner strength. But through that process, it really helped me put in perspective what was most important to me. And I guess I knew that back then when I gave up the opportunity, to leave the spotlight. But even more so now, when you think you're going to lose it all, you just realize what is the most important thing in life.
Yep.
And, at this point in my life and my age and my career, I'm trying to put all of those things in the right place, and I'm enjoying life much, much more. It's so much more fun now.
I can tell you definitely have a positive mindset, and yeah, it's amazing how easily it is, or how easy it is for us to take things for granted in this life. We get caught up in our daily grind, and we get frustrated over this and frustrated over that. But then often it takes some seriously traumatic episode or some incident to kind of jar you into realizing that, and we are very fortunate for what we have, and it's important to show gratitude every day.
Every day, yes.
Yeah, good stuff. So what would be, if you had to leave our listeners with, say, one thing? It could be, Vanessa, it could be about the business if you want, or if you just want to drop a little bit more life wisdom, a little bit with our audience, one thing that comes to mind that you'd like to share, that you'd like to leave our listeners with.
I think something that's important to share is that because I don't do a lot of advertising, and most of what I post, I post on my own. So they mostly see a lot of voice development. And while that is a huge part of our program, we do so many other things. And I think that's what a lot of people don't know and they're not aware of, is that, we do all these other types of disciplines and programming, because we're all about building the whole person, the whole performer. And, when we started to grow as a company, it was real important to me not to focus on size and money and popularity, but rather quality of life. I want people that work here to enjoy coming to work every single day, to feel inspired every day. I want my students to feel inspired every day. So this is a place of growth, getting to know who we are, sharing our creativity and supporting one another so that we can continue to take risks and reach for things that maybe we might have been too afraid of. And, I want people to know that, if you resonate with those values, come on over our way. If you're an artistic person and you've got, some of those same values, please come on over, because we love growing our family with people who really want to be here, and I would love to meet more creatives like ourselves.
With that said, how can we meet you, Vanessa? What's the best way to reach out to you guys? Maybe share your address, website, contact information, and also how can everybody hear your music?
Yes. So you can find us at risingstarsmusic.com, and stars is spelled STARZ. And you can find us on the Instagram, all social platforms you can find us. And our phone number is 954-370-3308. We do have an artist development program where we have many of our students creating their own music. You can find that information on our website and listen to all of the incredible creations that these talented students have done. You can also research me if you really want to, but
yes, that's what I was waiting for. What's the name of the band? Where can we find it? Let's go.
Well, when I was doing this is over 20 years ago, so the internet was not what it is now, but
it's out there somewhere, though.
It's out
there.
It is. Yeah, so it was called El Grupo Ellas, and
El Grupo
Ellas, ELLAS.
I'm going to check it out. Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Very cool. All right. Well, we will, of course, link in the description to all of your contact information. So if anybody is listening that would like to learn more, they'll know how to reach you. Vanessa, thanks so much for joining us today. It was a pleasure getting the opportunity to meet you and learn all about what you do. So
thank you, Jeremy. Same here. Yeah. Wonderful to meet you as well. Thank you so much for having me.
Our pleasure. Thanks, as always, to our listeners for tuning in. And we'll catch everyone next time. Everyone, take care. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast, Cooper City. To nominate your favorite local business to be featured on the show, go to gnpcoopercity.com. That's gnpcoopercity.com, or call 954-231-3170.